Dignity, respect, and morals is what a lot of this come down to. Check this video out.
Before I begin, a lot of y'all are not going to agree with what the fuck I'm saying. But some of you will. The real ones understand where I'm at. I just walked away from a 6-figure job just now. The disrespect was so blatant. The attempting disrespect was so blatant to where I wasn't about to deal with that shit no more. So let me say this to y'all, man. My people, listen. You on these jobs, you see and feel the climate we're in, right? You understand where we at. You understand where we at, right? Right. You see what's going on. How no one gives a about us. You see this shit, right? Okay. Let's just keep that in the forefront as you continue to listen.
I'm trying to.
There is no point in time. I made this video before, a video like this similar before. There is no point in time in your career or existence that you should ever let anyone treat you less than who the you are. You've earned the right to be an adult. You've earned the right to be in the position that you're in.
Right.
You shouldn't have to eat no one's shit in order to keep a job. So,
facts.
Luckily, I own my own little small business and shit, right? But I was doing this in conjunction to get extra money. Nah, bruh. Nah. The shit I just told the owner of this company, billionaire, the shit I just told this motherfucker, then he gonna text me on my phone talking about some, you're a poor character person. I texted him back, I was laughing emojis and shit. I said, so is your wife. Because she only with you for the money. I saw the broad. I met her and him. That broad looking happy as hell. He about 70. White boy, of course. And she about 28, literally. She only with you for the money. So, I need y'all to understand, man. Brothers, understand who we are. Sisters, understand who you are. And remember who the fuck you are. Because at the end of the day, when you clock out and you go home or you working from home and you go to the bathroom and you look in them fucking mirrors, you have to be able to respect the person that you have become. And if anyone is making you doubt yourself, your job performance, or anything, especially when you know you're doing your goddamn best, when you dread going to work, find you something else or make your own way. There's enough skill set amongst our people to where we can start our own shit.
Yeah, and I want to do that.
I'm an HVAC guy. I've been in property management. I can build you a house damn near. You understand what I'm saying? It's a lot of us out here with the skill set. Why we ain't started our own shit yet? Why we ain't got together and combined all of our fucking customers and made millions yet? Some of us have understood that and they've made it happen. But why we can't do that shit? We can start this shit now. I'm telling you, that's what I want to do. And let me tell you something. If you have an original thought when you working for these white folk, or if you display any type of personality, you are unprofessional. And you're in the wrong.
They try to tone you down. People don't like light shining, bro. Especially them kind of people. They don't like light shining. They don't like you to be different, which we are. They want you to fall in line.
I ain't never been in corporate America before, but I was in it just recently, and it only lasted a fucking month.
Yeah.
A month. The shit real out here, man. And for me to look at my wife and children, I showed my wife the little bullshit ass emails, disrespectful as fuck. Baby go look at me with like, it's like, Ricio, fuck them. That's all I needed to hear.
Yep.
Fuck them.
That verification from that woman.
When I tell you,
that sister.
The email I sent the owner and the president of this goddamn company, And I BCC'd, I guess, with a blind copy, about 12 more people. I went the fuck in. So listen, again, I'm gonna say, black people, stand up. Remember who the fuck you are. You ain't nobody's punching bag. Period. Holla at you.
I don't know how a lot of y'all do it, right? Thank you for tuning into the video. And the reason I had to react to this video, this commentary, well, I wanted to give commentary to this video, apologies, is because I can relate to this so much, right? I too, for example, in my career field and what I do for myself now and what I have been for the last 10 years independently, nobody has paid me to work for them, if that makes sense. I mean, like on a 9-to-5 kind of thing. I do little side stuff, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, the head of the company, right? You know, I'm working for this company or whatever, and you know, I'm one of the top people, you know, in my field when it comes to credentials and consistency as far as, you know, being there. And he had the turnover ratio for this employment place that I was currently employed. I'm trying to use very, very little, but the turnover was very high, right? And here they wanted, you know, you to fall in line, you know, like this little racist undertone shit, right? They want you now. For a guy like him, it may be no problem, all right, but they may have a problem with his beard, right? Me, they say, hey, we want no facial hair, which is a problem for black men, because if we keep our face shaved, our hair grows back into our skin, and now we have razor bumps. Now you got bumps. So that's why a lot of black men have hair to some extent wherever they grow hair out on their face. If they don't, they start to look like Seal. You know what I'm saying? With all the Rice Krispies underneath the chin. But anyway, when they found out that I was going to go into business for myself, you know, before it was, oh, they tried to nickel and dime me. You know, the raise came around, they only went up 25 cents. I'm like, 25 cents? Nah, son, I could do this shit on my own. Plus I had, you know, people that I was doing the work for at the time, you know, man, you could do this on your own, man. Why is you da-da-da-da? And then once I started telling them what I was making and what they were taking from the cut from that, they like, yo, you getting robbed. So I went and started my own thing, right? Best decision I ever made, right? Best decision I ever made. So I was doing like my last month there, already, you know, paid for the down payment on the spot, and I already started moving my stuff in, all kind of stuff, right? So I'm going to be leaving. I put in my, you know, as soon as I let them know, now all of a sudden, they can roll out the red carpet for you. Now, oh man, we can add, you know, we can give you an extra $4 raise. You know, that's no problem, man. Whatever you like. On the back end, though, they trying to work me to death. You know what I'm saying? I'm working from 7 to 7. You feel me? And you have no lunch break. You're not covered for. You're pretty much like a contractor, essentially, right? So as I'm, you know, he calls me. This guy never calls me, right? He little shit like, yo, you need to shave your. Oh, cool. Shave the facial hair, this, and that, and the third. But I got dreadlocks. Oh man, you're gonna have to cut that. I'm not cutting shit. I'm not cutting a damn thing, bro. Stop talking to me about my hair. I don't know why white people think y'all can do that. Stop talking to me about my hair. We don't talk about y'all hair. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it ain't all white people. I'm just saying in like this corporate blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And he kept saying it. You know, like, man, you should cut your hair down. I said, dog, I'm not. I said, yo, I would literally go flip burgers at McDonald's before I let y'all think y'all could pay me enough to not be who I actually am, right? If y'all don't accept me for who I am, then I don't want to be here. You know what I'm saying? But he then goes, you know, after they found out that I was going into business for myself and this and that and the third. People start trying to have doubtful conversations with you. Man, how you gonna manage your money? You can't do that on your own. You're gonna need somebody to watch your money. Most people within 5 years, their business fail. I'm almost 11 years now. Their businesses fail and da 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 da. I know a lot of people that do that and they just can't do it, man. I don't know how you're gonna do it. You got to have a big team behind you. You got to get that, all this other shit. So I think it was the day of or the day before I was leaving. I want to say the day I was leaving, right? All of a sudden, the head of this place, he's the head of the whole district. All of a sudden, he's calling me, blowing my phone up. I'm like across the street at Marshall's and shit, right? Looking at like the shoes over there. Every once in a while, if you're smart, you go over there, you'll find a pair of like Timbs for like 60 or something without the box, right? Found some nice Timbs. So he calling me, blowing me up. Hey, when you get a chance, call me back. When you get a chance, call me back. Get a chance, call me back. Never called him back. So I text him. I said, hey, how can I help you, man? He said, hey, man, this is so-and-so and so-and-so. If you got a man, I'd like to chat, possibly give you a raise. And, we can move you up to the master position and this, that, and the third. I'm like, no, thanks. You know what his reply was? Ha! Okay. Well, call me when you fail. This is what he said. So I replied back, I won't be calling you. F off. Don't text my phone again. Ever since then, I've been independent, right? What me and him have in common is the fact that these entities will try to get you to shrink yourselves in order to fit, right? They want you to take a certain level of disrespect, certain level of degrading. That's degrading to ask somebody with hair as long as mine to cut their hair to be a part of your team. What does my hair have to do with your team? I can see if I'm a firefighter and it could potentially be, they got that covered up too. It's firefighters with dreadlocks. There's no excuse as to why somebody can't be themselves. You just want people to fall in line so you can control them easier, right? Remember what I said. They like sheep, okay? I also had a group of clients that, I pretty much consider family. Real talk. She used to call me her son. You know what I'm saying? I looked up to them. I got fatherly advice from the husband all the time. Right? But they used to constantly, they're white people. They used to constantly do the gaslighting, right? Always talking about politics. And I used to just brush the shit off. I didn't used to be a person that, I didn't used to be a person that would engage in politics. I laugh and brush that shit off, right? I do now because when you're quiet, people think you agree with them. When you brush it off, people think you agree with them. People think that it's okay to do that. And I'm going to be honest with you. Only white people do that shit. Black people don't do that shit. Hispanics don't do that shit. Only white people make politics the focal point of their life. Not all white people. Those of you that know specifically what I'm talking about, right? But I love these people like family, bro. I was good friends with their son, knew their other son. Everything was, great. Everything was great. And then, the election, I would say like right before this dude got into office, I started noticing their rhetoric change a lot. They really changed, like they became a little more sharper, a little more, the undertone racism got a little louder. And it was hard for me to see it because no excuse, right? it was hard for me to see it because when they were talking, they weren't talking about me. They was always talking about somebody that looked like me. Right? Making you like the unofficial token and shit. Which, you know, as aware as I was aware that that's not what I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that we never agreed on was who they liked and who I disagreed with heavily, which is Trump. Don't bring him up around me. Don't bring him up around me. Right? So they tried to disrespect me one day by bringing that shit up to another client in hopes of trying to gang up. That's what she tried to do. They operate, like I said, these kind of people are cowards because they don't like to talk by themselves. They can't never hold this kind of weight or conversation by themselves. They have to have other people with them in order to do that because they know the shit that they're saying is backed by bullshit, right? So that was the only thing. I just asked them respectfully in my establishment, you know, please don't bring that shit up. You know, and on her way out, she tried to whisper it. She said, "Hey, vote Trump," but she said it to where I can hear it. She didn't whisper it to where only they can hear it, right? But she thought because the other guy was conservative that he was going to be on that type of disrespect, and he like, nah, I'm not getting into that, this and that and the third, right? It backfired, right? And they thought because, you know, of our consistency and how much I've shown up for them outside of the business that we conduct, right? You know, they're older people. I help them, you know, with their computers, help them anytime they had an issue with their cable box, move stuff in and out of their home. Like, this was really, you know, people I really cared about. I cut their ass right off because it comes down to respect and morals. I don't care how much money I make from you. I am never going to be a person that's going to sell out my morals and principles of who I am as a black man in order to make a dollar or to make you feel comfortable in your racism. That shit ain't happening. Salute to this guy for doing that. Salute to his queen for having his back on that shit. That's the difference between people like me and him and sellouts like Clarence Thomas and Candace Owens. Specifically. All right? This story hit deep because I much rather people walk away from these kinds of opportunities, right? The guy that had this, you know, life-changing job opportunity, right? Obviously, it comes with stipulations, right? He's going to degrade you. He's going to talk to you a certain way, right? Most black people I know, no, all the black people I know just want to go to work and make their money and go home, man. We don't want to be involved with all that extracurricular nonsense and shit y'all be talking about. We don't be wanting to do that, right? But y'all always trying to. Shit, I ran into a lot of problems in my lifetime. Keeping to myself has been a problem for people like that. Why is he so quiet? Why is he so isolated? He doesn't want to engage with us. He doesn't like talking to us. Is there something that, you know what I'm saying? Is there something that we, you know, like what is it? Now you're seeing as difficult and all this other stuff because you don't want to engage in the nonsense that they, come on, bro. Y'all start talking about politics, I walk in the other direction. Hey, man, you know, we're over here, you know. Why you don't want to be around it? Because y'all talking about some bullshit. I don't want to hear that. Dude, it's because it's the truth. No, it's because it's complete buffoonery and lies, and I don't have time to entertain the shit. You feel me? We need more people to step up, man. You feeling disrespected at your job. You feeling undervalued. You feeling like you have to deal with people's disrespect in order to receive a paycheck. Walk away from that, man. You know what I'm saying? Walk away from that. Walk away from things that don't make you happy. Walk away from things that violate and disrespect who you are as a person and your moral upbringing. They thought because I was making close to $800 a month off of them, and my rent, you know, at that time was like $950, so they figured like, oh, you know, he needs us. Cut that ass right off and gave him bop. They tried to apologize. Hey, you know, we're sorry, you know, didn't but what if you're you know, what if you sent the picture of I sent them a gift of Dikembe Mutombo doing the no, because that was her thing. It used to be funny to her, the older woman. She used to text me, you know, and that, no, not today. So
That's a fifth floor problem.
Not in my house.
I sent it back when she did that shit, right? Because they left after I confronted them about it because I was pissed. I didn't want to, you know. And now the husband got upset because I sent the picture of a black guy waving his finger. No, no, no. The same black guy that they used to laugh at the commercial all the time and talk about it. The same black guy that the wife sent me a meme in which I responded by sending it. It was kind of, you know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden it's racist. It's racist to send a black guy waving his finger, no, 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 at his wife. You're just racist, bro. And I'm glad I can see it now. Thank you for showing me who you really are. Salute to this brother for having a backbone and standing up for those morals and principles. Because not only did you help yourself, but you helped out a lot of other people that probably would have been in your shoes. Salute to you, bro. Ayo Bassel TV. Leave a comment below, man, if y'all ever been in this kind of situation. If you ever walked away from, you know, potentially a life-changing opportunity because of your morals and respect, right? Cut people off because of morals and respect. Everything ain't about money. All money ain't good money. All company ain't good company. Believe that. See y'all in the next one. Peace.